Okay, so now I've given you that background, and you are kind of thinking of a few topics that you could research. So your first step is to find information. You need to, once you've sort of got an idea of your topic, so we'll still speak about topic selection later, you need to look for information. So I'm going to tell you how to find information if you are both currently a registered BTech student, or if you were a former student, or if you weren't a former student, you're external. I'm going to tell you how to find information, because this is your first step, is to find as much information, particularly theses that have done sort of similar work. So you're going to find a document that's 300-400 pages related to your topic, which is going to give you a lot of information, and academic journal articles. Those are the two biggest sources of information you need. You will use the internet a bit for background stats and figures, but a majority of your sources will be theses, journal articles, and textbooks, but not that many textbooks, mainly the methodology section and some textbook, but most of your sources will be theses, but the greatest will be academic journal articles. So it's a different level of reading. So how do you find information? Well, there's one option for those of you who are currently registered and not. You can go to the CPUT website. You select library, okay? Then you select research. So you'll see a button here, research. Then you can now use keywords. Once you've selected research, you'll see it gives you an option. You can use keywords. Now I'm using one of my current master students' topics, and the topic that I gave to my BTech students this year is mobile shopping apps. Okay? So you use keywords, you type in mobile shopping apps, m-commerce, mobile technology. Then if you're doing consumer attitudes, like they were doing, the different models that are applicable, technological acceptance model, theory of reason action, the actual attitudes, trust, social influence, usefulness, and the target group you're doing, Generation Z, Generation Y, and combinations of these, because the more combinations you give, the more specific the article is going to be that you find. So my BTechs have had a lot of practice at this year. Now they've got to do it for their own topics. That's a whole different kettle of fish. So I don't give you the keywords, you need to develop them. And the best way is once you've found a few journal articles, you look at their keywords. And it gives you different ways to find. So you type in these keywords here, and you can search for everything. But if you search for everything, you could get like 2 million results, which is no good. You can't read 2 million sources. So what you need to do is go to the advanced search function for all databases to try and narrow your research. So use the advanced search function, and you can search by field, title, subject, you can search by books, journals, you can search by start and end date. This is all specific to the CPUT website, but all other publishers also have similar types of functions. So now we go in and we search for mobile shopping apps, and now we can choose, we want to search in the title. So in the title, it must have the word mobile shopping apps. Then you know that's going to really give you articles that are related. You can also search by date or month. So generally, you don't want many sources over 5 years old. Generally the rule of thumb is 2 to 1. So for every old source, because there are foundational articles that give you a lot of background information, you want most of your sources, 2/3 should be no older than 5 years. That shows that your topic is recent and relevant. If all the sources you find are 10 years old, why are you bothering to do this topic? It's probably been done 10 times over. And here I just show you, there you can search according to books, types, and journals, and I show you can type in the date 2015 to 2019, so you can refine your search. You can also, in the CPUT library, you can refine your research by the tabs on the right side. Subject, resource, electronic collection, creation date, journal title. So here they are. So you can click on subject, so there's smartphones, e-commerce, you can refine it, and here's more: resource type, electronic collection, creation date, journal title. So you can use the CPUT library website. Personally, I do not like the CPUT search functionality. It's just, it doesn't give me the specific results that I'm looking for. But for you guys, I'm sure you may find it quite useful. I'm just a bit more of a seasoned researcher, and how I look for things are more specific. But you can find a lot of information there. Okay? And there's more journal titles you can search for. Right. You can also select institutional repository and electronic theses and dissertation repositories. So the institutional repository has everyone's, not everyone, but most researcher puts their articles on there. And the electronic theses and dissertations, every thesis that has been done at CPUT is stored there. So, which is great, and you can download those theses if they're related to your topic. You can get whole theses that were done at CPUT. So it pretty much shows you, how or what a thesis should look like. And that's for free. That's open access, whether you're a registered student or not. You have access to these two databases. And you can see, if you've clicked on CPUT Library, there you can click on Institutional Repository, and there it gives you access, or if you click on Research, it gives you access to the Institutional Repository and electronic theses, right? So you can have access, you can search there for related information. Very important. However, the best place to find information, in my opinion, because CPUT, that looks at all databases, is to go to specific databases. And you can, as a student, you do it via the CPUT website, but as an external person who's not registered at CPUT, you can go directly to these databases. The advantage of being registered at CPUT is that you have access to a greater number of articles, because there's something called an embargo. So when these journals publish articles, even CPUT can't access them for 6 months sometimes. And then we have access. When you're external, you're only going to have access to the open access ones. In other words, authors that publish open access. I always pay the journal to publish at open access. That means everyone can read the article, right? But there is a way around that. So if you're not registered, don't worry. There's a wonderful way around that to get the article. It doesn't work all the time, but it works 9 out of 10 times. I think my BTech students like that too. I love it, to get the journal articles. But anyway, if you're a registered CPUT student, you click on library, then you click on databases. And then the databases will show you there, they'll show you a list of 100 databases. The best databases, in my opinion, which I find most helpful, is Academic Search Premier, Emerald. Emerald used to have brilliant search functionality, and this year they changed their platform. And so now the search results aren't as specific as they used to be. So I've written them about 3 or 4 very snotty-nosed aggro emails to try and get them to change it back to what it was. Because now I don't even bother to use them, as much. I'll still try and find something. But they've changed their platform. Science Direct is the one I use the most. That's Elsevier is the publisher. It's very good, high-quality research articles. But Emerald is equally as high quality. It's just a matter of finding articles. Google Scholar is very general. You can find anything there. It's not as good, the quality of articles. It's mixed masala there. You can find some useful sources in between, but it's like on a beach looking for that diamond, so to speak. You find some useful things, the quality is not as good. Dissertation and theses is good for finding theses, so that's very good. Now, Sabinet reference and SAE publications and dissertation thesis and current complete research, they're all on the same website. If you click on them, they're going to take you to the same website, but they've got lots of different tabs to click. So the beauty about this dissertation and thesis, SARBInet reference, essay publications, and current completed researches is they're all South African, whereas everything else is international. So if you want South African information, you go and you search on these. Now, why I put NB next to current and completed research is before you've even started your topic, or once you formulate in it, you need to search on this, and this gives you all the registered topics, so people that are not finished with the research, and people that have finished their theses is listed on this website. Okay, via the NRF, National Research Foundation, but it's all on the SARBInet website. So if you click on it, you must search on this current and completed research to ensure that your research has not yet been done in South Africa. Because if it's been done, and you could get to just about the end of the thesis, and now you submit into research, and the postgraduate office will just do a check and find, oh, but this topic's been done, then you have wasted, could be 6 years of your life. So it is your responsibility, not the supervisors, not CPUT's, is to check on the essay databases of current and completed researchers that your thesis is the first time it's been done. Look, if it's been done overseas, you can replicate the study in, of course, because now it's a different country. You see, but you cannot do something that has been done in South Africa before. Even if a journal article has been done on exactly, where do most journal articles come from? Theses. That thesis is chopped up into various journal articles. Most journal articles do not come from, from just someone doing research on it. It usually emanates from a thesis. So I'm just warning you, be very, very careful. And then another place to find international theses is called WorldCat Dissertations. But there's 100 databases there, and you can go and look at any of them to find your topics. These are the ones that I generally use. But there are hundreds. Just to show you now, so if you go via the library, there's Academic Search Premier. If you click on it, then that's what it shows you. Then you would click Open Database. As a CPUT student, you would log in, and then there you've got access. But take note, there's an advanced search function there. You always use the advanced search function. Don't just search for it over here, because it's going to give you general. You want to search in the title, keywords, and abstract. That is where you want to search, and you use a phrase. You don't put one word in, you'll see you'll get 1 million results. So you want to put as many phrases, and you put different phrases in to try and extract every bit of information you can. Okay, and these we're talking journal articles here. Here's current and completed research. So if you click on this, there you can search SARBInet. Now you can type in key phrases and check, has my research been done? Okay, there are some other websites as well. If you go onto the postgraduate website, they give you some background information. There they give you 2 other databases you can check on to see if your research has been done. But SARBInet should cover, should cover it. Then here's Emerald Insights, so you can search here. It says search by title, author, and keyword. You can no longer do that. They say that there, but you can't. They sort by relevance now. Their relevance is not what my relevance is. Anyway, I'll keep fighting with them until they change it. They'll get tired of hearing from me. Trust me. I will wear them out. I will win in the end for everyone, because really they've got lots of good sources. But now you just can't find them as easily as you used to be able to. Just because they've taken one function. So I can't search by title, keyword, or abstract anymore. And that's all I'm asking them to put back in. But anyway, we'll see what happens. ProQuest is another one you could try, dissertations and theses. Google Scholar, again, you have to first search on Google Scholar, then you can do the advanced search. You'll quickly learn how to search these things. Here's SARBInet itself. So you can search A to Z. There's various open access, various things you can do. You just got to play with these. And yeah, be sure to use the advanced search functions. For example, search by title, abstract, and keywords. That's important. That will narrow down and give you more specific results. And then narrow it down by year. Maybe initially you don't want to do that, but later on you only want recent stuff. Because there are foundational articles that could have been written 10 years ago that you have to include. But generally a minimum. And Years Science Direct, this is my favorite one. So there you see I usually type in the years and then I search by title, often there, title, abstract, and author keywords. Now, you can go through these search engines through CPUT, which will give you access to more articles, but you can go to them directly. Okay? And a lot of them, and even if you go through CPUT, you will not have access to. But I'll show you how to get those articles. So other tips to find sources. Go to Google Scholar or Google and type in a keyword and PDF at the end. So you could say mobile shopping apps, PDF. Then on Google Scholar and Google, all the ones that you have access to, it will give you the PDF file. So that's the tip. Type sort of your keywords.pdf. It will give you not the best quality again, because Google's not relates to quality, but it's good for background reading, just to gain an understanding of your topic. So you could type mobile shopping PDF, and there I've done the search, and here it gives you mobile shopping through applications, PDF. If I click on any of these 4 files, guess what? I get them. It gives me the PDF. So that's not a bad tip. I learned that from our subject librarian this year. So you can always learn things. Now, you're going to go to a lot of these Science Direct, Emerald, and it's going to have a perfect article. The title is just relevant to what you're doing, but it's going to ask you to pay for the article. And I've never paid for an article in my life. I will never pay. Forget it. I make mine all open access, and no one has to pay to read my journal articles. Okay? So, my colleague last year introduced me to a very nice site called Science Hub. Okay? So, you don't have access to articles because of embargo. So, you go to this website, and so what you do is you go to all these journals. So, you go to Elsevier and you find 20 articles that you want, but you can't get. So, you cut and paste their full title into a document. Their full journal article title. The influence of social media on the hierarchy effects model among blah, blah, whatever the title is, you type all those titles. You go to Emerald, you type all those titles out, right? The full article title. Then you go to this website and you cut and paste this title in to this website. You can also try unpaywall, but that's not as successful. So if you go to the website, this is what it looks like. You now cut and paste your title in, so antecedents of customer satisfaction in mobile commerce, whatever it is, and you click open. Then it looks very dodgy, this website, I can tell you that now. Some Arab type, looks like they're going to have cookies and all types of viruses attaching to your computer, but it doesn't. And you type in, then it's going to ask you to put in this word. You don't know what thing they're saying here. But you type in this word, and boof, there's the article. It does not work for all articles. So you put it in, and then it gives you an error message. You know, some type of, then you know it doesn't have access, right? But 9 out of 10 articles I get through this. So you go to Science Direct, Emerald, you cut and paste all those titles that they want you to pay for. Some of them you'll be able to download, but most you won't. And you go here, and then sometimes the website's a bit shaky, so then you just wait a day and you try again, another day. Right? But I use this, and I think my BTech students use this extensively. It really does give you what you want. So you don't need to be registered through and don't have to go through the CPUT database. Although you'll get more articles through the database, if you're not registered, you can still get the articles. Okay? Also, if you cannot still, if this website does not allow you to get it, you simply type it in Google, the full title. Because often then through platforms like Academia and ResearchGate, it takes you to that link and then you can request it from them, or you can get it, someone else put it on some other platform and you can get it. So that's, if you can't get it from the actual publisher, you can't get it through the Sci-Hub, then you just Google it. And usually, often you can get it through ResearchGate. And that. So actually, usually out of every 20 articles I want, there's maybe just one I can't get. And then I don't chuck away that title. I keep the articles I could not get in a file. And then I go like sort of every month, I try again. And then suddenly you're able to get it. You know what I'm saying? So don't give up on those articles. You keep them in a file, and every month, or maybe 2-3 months again, you go to the website, you go to Sci-Hub, and you Google it. And eventually you will get it. Somewhere it will pop up that you'll be able to get the PDF. So for non-registered students, so CPUT's Institutional Repository and Electronic Dissertations, they're open access. You can't access the databases through the CPD website, but you go directly to the publishers' websites, get the articles you can. Those you can't, you copy the titles into a document. Then you try Sci-Hub or Unpaywall. You can play with Unpaywall as well. I don't go into it. I don't use it much, but the librarian showed me that. And then if you still can't get it, then you can go try Google Scholar with the PDF, and lastly you can just try Google in itself searching for it. So you should be able to, as an unregistered student, get the same articles as a registered student will be able to get by using those means. Also, just not forgetting that so most of your research should come, most of your literature should come from the journal articles, theses, and textbooks. However, you will use some popular press sources. So if you're in the marketing industry, or for me, digital marketing communications, things like Biz Community I subscribe to, and every week they send me a link. And every week I've got 2 folders called Biz Community and eMarketer. And I cut and paste every single article that I feel could be useful with their full website link, the authors, everything I need to be able to reference it later. So every year I've got 100 to 200 pages of Biz Community and eMarketer articles. That's when I write journal articles, or when my students do a certain topic, I send it to them and say, here you go. This is just to give you background stats. So mostly you get your stats from there, but the theory and the bulk of your research comes from journal articles. Online newspapers, business magazines, industry websites, Wikipedia, you're not allowed to reference it, but you can use it to find background information. So you can search a topic, read, but you can't include it, but you can look at the sources that they've used and go to their original sources and use them. But I do not allow my students to use Wikipedia. Why? It's not accurate 100%. Anyone can edit Wikipedia. So there are lots of errors in Wikipedia. So you can use it for background information, and don't try and use it and disguise it, because when we run this through SaferSign or Turnitin, it's going to tell me that this came from Wikipedia. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to say, but this is saying Wikipedia. I don't want to see Wikipedia when we do your SaferSign or Turnitin. But it's good for background information. Any website ending in pedia, it's not a reputable source. And that's the literature search. So that's your biggest, once you've got your topic, which we'll cover in the next, in a few sessions' time. Let's just stop recording.